Now, if you're anything like me, you might be looking to transform your workspace into a productivity paradise. Well, you are in the right place because in today's video, we're gonna dive deep into my desk setup, the first part in the Ultimate 2023 Workspace series. From a minimal sit-stand desk to the Mac that powers it all, I've got recommendations for you that's gonna turn your desk space into a place that you never wanna leave. Let's jump right in. What is going on, everyone? My name is Mike. Welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad that you're back with me today because we are diving deep into my dual monitor minimal desk setup. Now, this place is specifically designed to optimize for my creativity, my productivity, reduce distractions so I can get work done. And that's what we all want to do at the end of the day. Now, as I mentioned, today's video is part one in a three-part series where I'm pulling back the curtain, so to speak, on my desk setup. I have a second video planned where the second video will go into how to level up your audio and video game, really so that you're the envy of all your colleagues, making sure that your Zoom meetings to your gaming setups really pop with crispiness. Finally, I'm gonna wrap it all up with the very last video. It's gonna be the YouTube space, discussing how the decorations, how I lay everything out, and a few productivity hacks that you can even implement in your own space. Now, if that sounds like your jam, hit that subscribe button so you can get notified when that next video drops. Now, I've got some fantastic products to show you today, so stick around, and remember, anything I talk about will be linked down in the video description below in case you want to pick something up for yourself, and anything that you do buy does help the channel out as it is an affiliate link. Now let's talk about my desk. First up, this is my primary desk. It's really the creative hub of where I get all of my work done. Now, I'm using a 53-inch sit-stand desk front of a Thomas on gray legs and with a white tabletop. Now, if you remember from last year, I had a 70-inch version in my last setup, but that was actually too big and I wanted to really downsize that to give myself a little bit more room in this cozy 12x10 studio. The motorized desk is fairly quiet whenever I want to elevate to its peak height of 48 inches or I want to lower it down to its lowest height, which is 26. Now, I don't know about you, but I really enjoy using a sit-stand desk and I'm not guilty of never using it in stand position. I actually do that probably at least once a day, usually in the afternoon stint, so I can keep my energy levels relatively high and I don't want to put any pressure on my low back. So I'm trying to alleviate both those things as well. Now, one of the most essential pieces of my setup is really tucked very nicely underneath the desk. Let me show you. This is the brains of the operation. This is the M1 Ultra Mac Studio, AKA Beast Mode as I like to call it. Now, I bought this last year really with the expectation that I wanted to keep it for a long time, so I really spec'd it out. This is the 20-core CPU, 40-core GPU, 64 gigs of RAM, and 4 terabytes of internal storage, really to make sure that I would not be caught like on my back foot, so to speak, where it would be outdated or feeling slow with my workflow, because I do use it every day. Now, even though I have a MacBook Pro, the Mac Studio is really still my go-to computer since it really just chews through almost anything that I have, can handle my workflow very easily, and it has all the ports I need. Now, there were a few software-related slowdowns that I identified in my 12-month review of the Mac Studio, but really those have all disappeared after Apple has been doing continuous updates since then. Probably after about 3 or 4 updates, it's running pretty smoothly, and I can't complain. Mounting my Mac under my desk has been a game changer because it reduced the clutter that was here on top of my desk shelf, allowing me to eliminate all the various things that were collecting really kind of next to my Mac Studio and causing, really, in my opinion, it was an eyesore for most of the point when I was using it with things plugged into it. So I wanted to move it under my desk and give it more of a kind of a stealth look. You tell me what you think. I really like the way that it looks here. If you have anything that you have on your desk, if you can, either A, try and mount it, try and put it away, make sure that everything that you have has a place to go, because if it's not, you might have a hard time working through that. And that's, I would say my biggest lesson learned here. And if you're enjoying this content so far, why don't you consider hitting that like button for the algorithm. Now, in terms of displays, I'm rocking 2 27-inch Apple Studio displays. And while they come at a premium that I think that most people should not pay for, they are worth it in my opinion for a few reasons. First and foremost, the monitors are bright and the colors look real to life. The backlight panel here on each of these can hit up 600 nits of brightness, merely retaining the high color fidelity, making it great for either making or consuming SDR content. Browsing the web, it doesn't matter. These displays look nice. That's what's gonna make a difference here. And that's something that I truly appreciate about these displays. And then we talk about second, the displays themselves have a pixel count of 218 pixels per inch. So if that's a 27-inch display, that is going to be 14.5 or 14.6 million pixels per display. And that display is super sharp. There are actually no other displays on the market in this price range that have that high of pixel density, except for the new one, which is from Samsung, the Viewfinity S9. And I am picking one up. So if you want to see that video, make sure you're subscribed. Now, each of my displays are sitting on top of the Balolo Setup Cockpit. This is the latest addition to my setup, and I can't tell you how much I love this thing. The Setup Cockpit is from Balolo, and it comes in either 2 sizes. You have the medium or the large, and what I have here, this is the large setup, and it can be ordered either in American walnut, American oak, or in all black. What's great about the Balolo desk shelf is that it has this mounting grid underneath the desk shelf where you can mount these various first-party accessories. Now I'm using the MagSafe charger, which is right here. Just put it on there. Boom. Awesome. I'm using the large desk shelf right here to hold my MacBook Pro and kind of some other things that go on my desk. And then I'm also using the laptop dock to hold my iPad Pro when my iPad is not being used over in this corner here. And they also have other accessories like a way to hold the 15-key Stream Deck, which is a smaller version, which I have here, a headphone stand, as well as a laptop riser if you have a single display setup, giving you the option to configure the setup cockpit to exactly the way that you like it. Now, if you want to pick something up from Balolo, I do have a discount code for 10% off. You can use that on their order. It's Mike10. It'll also be by the affiliate links in the video description. Now, moving on to what is on top of my desk. First, this is my Polybius desk mat from Space Cables. It's 35 inches wide, 15 and a half or 15 3/4 inches tall. It just sets the mood. It's got a nice retro feel, which is kind of one of the things that I like. Then on top of that here, I've got my Stream Deck. This is the 32-key Stream Deck. And I'm just getting into Stream Deck, so you'll have to forgive me here, but this has really been a game changer, really, to put it the least. Here, I can configure any of these buttons here to open a web page, open an application, do macro functions where I can then take advantage of just having to hit a single key, kind of like the launch command, where I can get it to do almost anything. The software is very powerful, but as I learn more, you'll learn more. Trust me on that one. Now let's jump into what the lifeline of my connectivity is. That's gonna be this Thunderbolt Dock. This is the CalDigit TS4 Thunderbolt Dock, and it is robust enough to meet even the toughest of needs. It's like the dock that you call when you want something done. It's like that serious of a dock. Now the TS4 Thunderbolt Dock has 18 ports between the front and the back. Yes, you heard that right. There are 18 ports on here. I would really recommend this to anyone who really takes access to I/O seriously. If you need access to fast storage at your Mac Mini, whatever that device is, and it has a limited number of ports, connect this bad boy, because this will definitely solve your problem. As for lighting, I've got two BenQ screen bar halos for task lighting, both of which are paired to a single controller here that I use. Symmetry and function, that's how I like it here. Now, what's cool about using one controller for these lights, it's got a little motion sensor on here, and if I want to change the temperature, if I want to change the light color, it's all done from here, which is really cool. I don't have to have two of these controllers on my desk taking up space. For me, it's a game changer. If you're working in your office for long periods of time, or you're working at night, consider getting yourself a light bar. It's well worth it. But now you're probably thinking about, Mike, hey, I see this one here. There's one over here. It looks kind of similar. Well, this is just a simple productivity timer. Allows me to count down. I use the Pomodoro technique, which, 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off. This helps me stay on track because I do have ADHD, as you might tell by how quickly I'm talking, but either way. And it's just nice to have to stay on track for tasks. But those are situated very nice and cleanly underneath the studio display, helping get stuff done. In terms of my mouse, I'm using the MX Master 3S in pale gray. It's priced at $100. And what's great about this is probably the quietest mouse that you will find. It's just like, you can't even hear it. It's so quiet. It will pair with up to 3 devices, either via Bluetooth or via using the 2.4 gigahertz receiver, which they call the Logi Bolt. The battery lasts fairly long. I would say it probably lasts at least about 3.5 to 4 weeks in my experience. And you can customize the functions of the buttons on a per app basis in their software, which is called Logi Options Plus. Now, my keyboard of choice is gonna be the Newfie Halo 75. This is an RGB mechanical keyboard in a 75% layout. Now, the keyboard has a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, and that battery is probably gonna last you 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, depending on how you have the RGBs either turned on all the time, very bright, or if you have them kind of subtle, which I have them on only when I press a certain key. So I do get about a month worth of battery life. The keyboard can connect up to 4 devices, including using Bluetooth 4.0 or a 2.4 gigahertz receiver. Now, I have each of those receivers plugged into the back of my monitor here, just in case I ever need to use something. Now, my favorite part is the keys and the keycaps are swappable, meaning I can customize the typing experience, not from a typing perspective, how it looks, but also how it sounds. And right now I'm using the retro gaming inspired Arcadia keycaps with the Baby Kangaroo for that nice thocky sound. It's like, I love it. Oh, there's Darth. All right, folks, there you have it. My deep dive into my desk setup designed to boost productivity and creativity. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. It really does help the channel out. And remember, this is just the first episode in the 3-part series. The next video, we'll talk about audio and video setup, helping you elevate your virtual presence in meetings and streams. If you don't want to miss it, make sure you click the subscribe button, turn on notifications so you can be notified when that video does come out. Now, if you made it this far, drop a bullseye down below so I know who made it. And if you have any questions, make sure you link them down below. I'm very active in the comments. And as always, do not forget that there's that 10% code off Balolo Mike 10. Guys, I'll talk to you in the next one.